'cause I'm off to the hole in the road. I'm walking off school and I'm off to the city, watching telly all night and I'm not looking pretty. See, I got this job downtown, selling knocked off ladies' watches for £1. For a really dodgy man that I met in a dodgy cafe. You know, he said to me, the girl who sold these yesterday wasn't selling very carefully. Police came along and took her and all my watches away. So if you see some coppers, you grab my stuff and leg it, boy, right away. I'll be in the cafe. Just a boy from Sheffield, making his way through life. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way through life. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. So it's been a few hours and I haven't sold enough for my bus fare home. Street selling pretty tough, so I turn on the charm for the lunchtime rush with a smile and a wiggle on my schoolboy touch. So the charm is working in the underground. There's a crowd of men and women gather round. The watches they are going, the money is a flow. Think I'll touch a little extra, stick it in my pocket, spend it later. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way through life. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way through life. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I haven't sold a watch for an hour and I'm dying for a slash. I've had enough of this, so I'm off for a piss. Then a quick walk back round to the cafe. Sitting at his table drinking tea. Looks at me suspiciously. Then with a glance at the watch he says, how did you do? He paid me a couple of quid. Then he said, would you like to come and work another day? I said I'd come back down on Friday. Answered that, he said okay. So with £2 in my pocket and another 5 in my shoe, I nipped down to Castle Market where a man who looks like Leo said he's selling pots with cockles and prawns. You make me feel like dancing. Then off back to dinner on the Wiggers and then home. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way.
His twanger, pulling his twanger, pulling his twanger.
I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way.
His way. Tonight, from Sheffield is making his way. Making his way.
I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making
Making his way.
Had enough of this, so I'm off for a piss. There you go. Good evening. Welcome to Raconteurs News on Tuesday. No, it's not, is it? It's fucking Friday, isn't it? Jesus Christ.
Hold on, we better check. We're not sure.
Yeah, let's check. Yeah, it's the 31st. It's the 94 meetings day. If you don't know what that means, then tough shit. I'm not going to explain it to you. But, you know, if you do know, you know, don't you? March 31st, 94 meetings. So, how are you doing? Welcome to Raconteurs News. I hope you didn't miss us on Tuesday night because we were over on Rumble. Because the lovely people here at YouTube had decided that we were persona non grata for this particular platform. So we decided to go over to Tuesday. We decided to go over Rumble on Tuesday, and it was quite good. In fact, I was impressed that the next morning I looked, and there's probably more people watched than would have done on YouTube. So get over to Rumble, find us on Rumble for when we're not here. Don't forget Tuesday and Friday. Tuesday at 8 o'clock, Friday from 9:30 we'll be here. If we're not here, we'll be on Rumble. but we will be Raconteurs newsing it, no matter what you do. Just a quick announcement as well. I just want to make right at the very beginning so that I don't forget. We're a man down officially because at the moment Dr. Robert is not going to be doing any shows for a while because he's got a family emergency. His son's in hospital and not very well. So he's once his son's back and better again. So we wish he'll be back. Robert will be back, Dr. Robert. So we wish him all the best. Matt, I think his name is.
Matt, yeah.
Matt, yeah. So all the best to you. I hope everything's okay. And I've basically told you everything that Robert wanted me to tell you. So that's just it. There's nothing else we can add. But his son's not very well, so he's not going to be around for a while until he's better. Anyway, let's hope it's sooner rather than later. Then that means that his son's getting better. But anyway, we move on. We'll no doubt see Robert soon in future. Anyway, so all the best to you, Matt. I don't know if you want to say, Jimmy.
Well, I was just compelled just earlier on just to look up the causation of that particular ailment, and I have to say, like, it's a very serious ailment, very, very serious, and hopefully it's nothing nefarious. I really hope, because Matt sounds like a lovely young man. So all my best to Robert. I wish you all the best from the bottom of my heart. Hope everything works out okay and that you get good news very soon.
Excellent. Yeah. It's. I think that's. We all agree with that, don't we? So anyway, we've told you what we can. Dr. Robert's not going to be about for a while. I'm sure you all understand. But all the best to him, and I'm sure that you send all your best as well. Hey, we're doing okay tonight. We've still got a decent amount of people, half decent amount of people watching on Rumble, so that's all good. Rumble and YouTube we're on tonight. Jimmy, how are you, my friend?
I'm great, but I have to say, like, when I went back and I checked the stats on Rumble and the amount of views that we got on Rumble, I was just thinking to myself, how many of them were just our normal viewers, or were they just purely views that we just picked up off Rumble? I said, because I was just blown away by it. Like, that's almost a third more than we'd normally get, like, maybe, or getting close to it, during the week on YouTube.
So our message is getting out to a very select few, a very, very select few. If you're watching this tonight, you are one of a very select few that are watching this. But what can you do? What can you do? Bandit Buster says he missed us. Get over on Rumble. Everybody get over on Rumble and just follow us on Rumble. Give us a follow on Rumble. It just makes things easier because YouTube is a little bit hit and miss with regards to stuff. And also, there's perhaps a few guests that I might want to get on who wouldn't be eligible for YouTube, or YouTube might have a problem with, but that we will do on Rumble. And of course, if YouTube decides that we're persona non grata forever, then that's where we'll reside, at Rumble. So it's always best to be prepared. Let's say hello to some of the people in the chat room. Good evening to Ron Malcolm. Good evening to King L. Good evening, King L. King L. Ron Malcolm as well. Holden Official says he'll subscribe to our Rumble. Thank you very much, Holden Official. Thank you very much. Bandit Buster as well says he's missed us. Good evening to you, Bandit Buster, and your missus as well. Oh God, I can't remember her fucking name, but I do know it. But anyway, sorry, I'm terrible. I'm terrible.
Mrs. Buster.
Yeah, Mrs. Bandit Buster as well. Yeah, but I know she's listening with him. Non-violent extremist Tony's there as well.
Look at that, Jay. Mrs. Bandit Buster's birthday tomorrow.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, good afternoon. April 1st. That's April Fool's Day, isn't it?
It's close enough, man. Close enough.
Well, it is, isn't it? It's April 1st, isn't it, tomorrow? Anyway, happy birthday to Mrs. Bandit Buster tomorrow. God, I wish I could remember her name. Gemma, that's her name, Gemma. Good evening, Gemma. I know her first name anyway. But anyway, good evening, Gemma, and Bandit Buster, whose real name is I can't remember. I know it, but I don't want to say his surname. That's all I can remember at a minute. But I'm terrible at fucking remembering things. So South, good evening to you. Ron Malcolm, Kendo. See, So South has started turning up again. He's a Plymouth fan. Now Wednesday have started losing. We lost 2 out of the last 3 games, and we've had 2 points out of the last possible 12. So so South has decided to turn up again. Evening, Paula. I thank you for your lovely message that I got about a week and perhaps a week and a half ago. I've just had so much shit going on in me. You really don't know what's been going on here, like privately, but I've just had shit to deal with and stuff like that. So I'm really sorry for not getting back in touch with you, but I will at some point. And also the same to Regina I Am, who has sent me a lovely message as well. And I've not got back to her, but I will get back very, very soon. Mascara Snake, King L, gone through this. 462-904. Right, Ridiculizer as well. Trisha Morticia, evening Trisha. I hope you're okay and all your animals are good as well. Lovely person, Trisha. If you don't know Trisha, get to know her. She's a really nice person. Well, I think she is anyway. I mean, she might be a right twat, but I don't know. But she seems to be a nice person. From what I've had, the contact that I've had with her, and hopefully we'll meet this. Hopefully we'll meet this summer, Trisha. I did try last year, but it was just that little bit too early, and I just couldn't make it. Oh. But anyway. But there you go. That's it. I think I've gone through everybody.
Well, did you say hello to Tony?
Oh, Tony as well. Yeah, Tony. I said Tony. Yeah, Tony's on. He's pretty good.
And Kendo. Did you get Kendo?
Kendo. Everybody, and welcome back, Chris, to the Telegram group as well. Chris has come back to the Telegram group. He left a week ago or so, and he's having a bad time. So listen, we all have a fucking bad time from time to time, mate. And don't worry about it. We just don't care.
And you know what? Sometimes,
like if you need to get away, you go away, and then you come back if you want to.
Exactly. Like, because do you know what? I've been thinking this last 2 weeks about this thing, and the propaganda is really powerful. Like, they've got fucking powerful kung fu, and it's got this way of working inside your fucking head, and it does it to me all the fucking time too. And I have to be physically aware of it all the fucking time. And if I was tired and frustrated and stuff like that, I tell you what, shit like that would get me down and get me fucking flustered and get me into an argument. No problem with all the crap that's going on. So I have to say, it happens to the fucking best of us. And probably the best thing to do is take a short time out from it. That excellent choice.
It is a good choice. Waxton Baxter is watching us on Rumble. He says, I'm lurking here and tuned to poo tube in case you blob it. Okay, yeah. Cheers for that. Cheers for that, Waxton Baxter. So he told me who Waxton Baxter is. It's in the Telegram. I can't remember. I can't
remember at the moment either. But if you go back and check the comments for the last show, he did introduce himself.
He did, yeah. JJ as well. Good evening, JJ. So let's start off with what was happening on Tuesday night when we were on, and we had a fatality, one that could have been in the sweep that we've got. But unfortunately, I had a look, and unfortunately for Paul O'Grady, he wasn't on our death sweep. Otherwise, if he was, he'd still be alive today.
He'd be here today.
He would still be here today, but nobody had him. No, so nobody's had him. The death sweep still seems to be protected, by some force of non-nature. Kendo's Waxton Baxter. There you go. But yeah, so Paul O'Grady was in the sweep. I think what I'm going to do is what we'll do, I keep saying I instead of fucking we. It's just a habit that I seem to be having difficulty getting rid of, Jimmy. But yeah, what we'll do is in a couple of weeks' time, I think we'll regroup and we'll perhaps have another crack at that, and people can change their. Because it'll be interesting to see if anybody changes and then somebody that they had before, exit.
God,
I mean, that's happened before, Somebody had Prince Philip. Someone had Prince Philip, and then they changed it, and he died. That was before the rules changed to under 70s. But anyway, still want a backward T-shirt. Jay said he left. The only backward T-shirt, there's only one in existence. It's still in here, and the person who wins the death sweep is going to win it. So you will have a one-of-a-kind, because I'm not going to make any more, a one-of-a-kind T-shirt that's got Raconteurs RN written on the back instead of the front. And we're going to get some new RN T-shirts as well. I wanted to do some black ones with a white RN on front. I thought that would look good, and perhaps do some grey ones with a black one on it and stuff like that. So they'll all be coming up. And as you know, it's always given away. I don't fucking sell things. Well, not yet. I don't fucking sell things. You never know what's going to happen down the line. But yeah, we don't sell things.
Once you get past a certain number of subscribers, though, Jay, you're going to be approached by some gold company to start selling gold products, or I think the latest one is like some health company are selling powdered vegetables, and all the alt media seem to be selling these powdered vegetables now.
Powdered
vegetables.
You see, that's the thing as well. Is I was looking at gold because I was looking for something to do. I don't know. I just thought about sticking a bit of money into gold, but physical gold rather than just paper gold, because we've done shows on that before where paper gold it's no good. You need physical gold really. But I'm looking into the ins and outs and having it. I mean, loads of different regulations coming on board with CDCs, with the banks and. All to align their credit, whatever fucking their online credit thing that the banking. What's the fucking word? What's the word? What's the phrase? It's a central bank. Yeah.
Oh, CBDCs, central bank digital currencies.
Digital currency. Yes. Thank you. This is what I need.
I wasn't quite sure what you were asking there for a second, but it just hit me. Yeah, CBDCs, right?
Yeah. It's because it's Friday and it's 9:30.
And it's nearly April Fool's Day.
It's nearly April Fool's Day. Bullion by post, apparently, just got $5,000 worth. Says 4620904. It might be an idea. I think that round about that sort of amount of money that I want to put into it.
Well, $4,000. That's about what, 2 ounces, is it? That's
about $5,000, something like that. I don't know. I don't know whether it's. I don't know anyway.
I think so. I think that's close to about 2 ounces.
Yeah, I know. I think I looked last time and it was £1,600 for for the ones that I was looking at. But yeah, so. That is what? What did he say? Bullion by post. Okay, we'll try that one. Bullion by post. That seems a bit fucking dangerous, doesn't it? But never mind. Yeah, what's been happening then, Jim?
Well, in relation to that show that got pulled, right, on the 7th of March, the one that. I reviewed that show, man. I think I sent you a message there on Telegram just telling you what I don't know whether you got a chance to review it yourself, but I have to be honest with you, man. There was no coof misinformation in that whatsoever that I could see anywhere. And if anybody could sort of review that and prove me wrong, I'd be delighted, because I think that was incorrectly tagged.
Right. Well, I've not appealed yet because I wanted to look. I wanted you to have a look. Well, you said you wanted to have a look, so you had a look, and I think I am going to appeal it, simply because, well, fucking why not? But yeah, I don't think I can't remember anything about that. I don't know whether there was something in there at some point. I just can't work it out. But then again, that's always the same with YouTube. If I go into the settings, I will be able to find the part, because they will show me the video and show me the part, but only the part that that they've got a problem with.
Okay.
Then I can appeal it. But yeah, I'll do that at some point.
Because the only thing that I've reported on basically about the coup was a certain court case that was going on over in Switzerland, and about a certain meeting that was going on with John. Maybe I'm not going to mention his name now, just in case we get a ban if I mention any of those names again, right? Maybe it was something got to do with that, like, but there was nothing about medical information whatsoever. I was just reporting on 2 particular cases that were going on in Switzerland, you know. So well, one of the things that I did remember at the time, and which I was correct about, was like we were chatting about, a question was brought up about a certain dog illness, and we dropped the name of a particular medication that has been renowned, but in relation to dogs, right? And
Okay.
a dewormer, right? A dewormer. So that's at the last 15 minutes of the show, if you wanted to check that out, like, you know. But like, if they were going
I'll tell you what I'll do anyway. If I go in there and have a look, I can find out where the point is. I did have a look at the one, you know, the one that I got banned from. I did have a look. If you remember, do you remember that night on the after chat when Dinny were there, and I think there were Dinny and a few others, and I played the bits from that they got a problem with, and Dinny. Dinny just said, you know, you want to play that again because it's fucking. Essentially, I was just pointing out exactly what had happened, and was probably why I got that strike a while later. But anyway, we can fuck about. We can forget about that fucking shit. If so, happens, we're over to Rumble, aren't we? Simple as that.
Well, look, I think at the end of the day, I think a good rule of thumb is, if we get too many more problems, like we're down to 1 strike again. We were on 2 strikes, then we got down to 0 strikes, then we're back up to 1 again. So obviously we're doing something right, you know, and it's a good sign in the channel that gets a strike, because you know you're over the target, right? So in a way, it's probably a good thing to have on a resume, you know.
And Ridiculizer has put in here thoughts and prayers for our friend Steve. I'm sure he's talking about Steve Tagoose, who's recently lost his mum, and he's still away, and we don't know what sort of time he's having of it, whether he's having a bad time or a good time. I've not seen anything, I've not heard anything, but you know, it's understandable he's going to be away for a while. So yeah, thoughts and prayers to Steve as well, and his family.
Indeed.
And his family, yeah, because it's a terrible time. What are we going to talk about? Something. What are you making of this? What do you reckon of this mass shooting that happened in Nashville, and the, you know, all the ramifications of the shit that's gone on afterwards? And we've got people in the trans community that are mourning this person as if they're some sort of hero. And we had a situation where there were people storming the government building in Tennessee, and were holding their hands up like that, weren't it? Yes. So that there were 7, saying there were 7 victims, even though there were only 6 victims and 1 perpetrator who died. There were 6 victims, not 7. There were 6. But it's a crazy situation, isn't it, that we find ourselves in, where we've got terrorism comes in the form of trans people, as well as, you know, what we've been taught is terrorists, whether it be Catholics in Ireland or Muslims in Middle East, or anybody that we're told is a terrorist. Now, someone can do a terrorist attack, this is what this is. If it was in this country and it were a bloke that walked into a school it'd be a terrorist attack all day long. But this is not because this is a girl that wanted a knob. Yeah, 3 children and 3 staff. That's 33. Did you notice that the children were all aged 9?
Yeah.
And also the 3 adults were 60, 61, and 61, which that's 3 6s and 3 9s. If you just look at the first number, this is just numerology nonsense as far as I'm concerned, but it does sort of it does fuel the people that are into that sort of thing and that see that. And let's face it, we always see it, don't we? Some sort of numerology in these events.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of people who do. They're always breaking things down by numbers. I try not to pass too much heat on it, because at the end of the day, it's just fucking numbers, and it's all a load of bother. You can make anything. It's like statistics, you can sort of like massage statistics into anything that you want, really, and you can do the same with numbers, and you can come to all sorts of crazy conclusions based on the numerology and how the numbers break down. And I said, look, I'll leave that for people who are interested in. But what I do have one story from that shooting in Nashville, and maybe I found a hero, right? That's the fucker there anyway. That's that. Well, I don't know what you call it, fucker. Audrey, right? But basically, what we have a hero among the whole lot. I'm a 9-year-old girl. This little girl here, she's 9 years old, and she got shot, basically trying to pull the alarm to warn everybody else that the shooter was doing the rampage in the school. She got killed while she was trying to raise the alarm. She realized something was going on. So let's see, does it give her name? Evelyn Diekhuis. Sounds very, very. It sounds like a Dutch name in origin, So, but she was 9 years old, yes. And also the pastor at the school. This pastor, his little daughter, 9-year-old daughter, got shot as well too. Apparently he was doing counseling for the alleged perpetrator. I don't know how recent it was. That's the perpetrator there, Audrey. But the pastor at the school, this dude here, he was doing counseling for her. So I don't know. I don't know what the fuck to make of it. But there's the hero, this little girl here, Evelyn. And she did try to do her best to warn everybody about what was going on. So I just thought that was very, very poignant,
It is very poignant, yeah. It is very poignant. And the problem we've got these days is that there's so much misinformation. You can't trust anything that you see online, can you? You can't trust anything at all that you see online. If this is as it's presented, it's a horrendous fucking. It's an horrendous abomination of what someone claims. I mean, if you claim like you've got rights because you've got. This is just terrorism. This is what it would be called anywhere else. The Irish Republicans would have said that they had a right to a free and independent Ireland. It's just they would call them terrorists. Then you sort of get Muslims who want the West out of the Middle East. And we call them terrorists. In fact, if we go into their country and we are the aggressors and the invaders, we call them insurgents.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're protecting their own country. The world is completely fucking upside down. It's completely upside down. Completely.
Yeah. I know you've got all those problems going on in Israel at the moment, like with the left wing protests and the changes that are attempted to be made to the Supreme Court justices and stuff like that, but that's been sort of like painted as being an American sort of like operation, like an Orange Revolution type thing. So this is what we're up against, and you can't take this trans ideology in isolation too. Like that is obviously being weaponized against people because nobody who's got a brain believes any bullshit about this trans fucking thing being a big major issue. It's a load of fucking bullshit, but yeah, it gets so much media hype that it's so front and foremost in the media, that you'd think it was the only thing that was important going on in the fucking world, man. And it's not. Like, it affects such a small percentage. Is it 1% of the global population, or if it's even that, like, who would be trans? Or I don't know what the actual statistics are on it, like whether you can trust the statistics or not, like, is another thing.
It's
like,
less than 1%. It's got to be less than 1%. And of those less than 1%, probably less than 1% are actually genuine people that feel as though that they're in the wrong body. So you've got less than 1% of the population, then you've got less than 1% of the less than 1% that are genuine. So the rest just attention. It's just attention seekers. These people they've been saying this for so long. They've got no personality. So what do they do? What can I do? What can I do to be different? I ain't got no personality. I can't think about. I can't have a conversation with anybody. For fuck's sake, I'm not going to make a joke. Let's just ban jokes. I'm shit at it because I can't fucking talk like that. I've got no personality. So what do? They make the sexuality a personality. They make it so that that's the personality. I saw it the other day. That fucking Just Stop Oil thing with fucking purple hair or whatever she's got. And she's got this purple hair and she's just screaming at, and listen, I'm no fucking mate of Jacob Rees-Mogg, but she's screaming at him, saying, repeating over and over, people are dying because of the climate crisis, no evidence, just like, let's just go to the emotional part. Instead, that's my argument, is the emotional part. And credit to him, Jacob Rees-Mogg, probably because I fucking would if I were him. I'd just sit back and go like, because what the fuck? And all these people, what they don't understand is, right, and this is a genius move by all governments all around the world, is this. The genius move is this, right? They have got that students traditionally, right, throughout the ages, have always been anti-government, anti-establishment, anarchists, this, that, they've always been that. They'll go through a little phase.
I've been there myself. I was there myself. I was one of those fucking idiots, right?
Well, I mean, idiots, whatever. You were just, you were a student, and that was, you were anti-establishment, you were anti-government, you were anti all this sort of shit. The genius thing that the government did is got them to use that. So that now these fucking students are demanding that these draconian measures that are being put into place by government, like EVs and net zero and all this fucking wild nonsense, is all being put into place. And these students, they're screaming that it's not been done fast enough. So, they've now become students, right? So you've got students that are fucking would have been against anything government, right? In past, they would have been, And then these dumb fucks come along, right? And government says to them, "Well, we don't want to do any green shit." And like, they're just like, we'll fucking scream and shout. We'll fuck everything up. We'll fuck roads up. We'll make people irritated with us. We'll fucking do all this shit. I saw that. Where it were her that fucking threw that over sunflowers by Van Gogh. It's threw soup on it or something, and then stood there in front of it, like with Just Stop Oil t-shirts on. And it reminded me of? It reminded me of a toddler in their fucking high chair when the mothers do it, trying to do the dishes and the washing and all that, and all the kid wants really is he wants some attention from mum, but she's too busy. And so what the kid does is he gets his fucking soup that he's fucking got in his hand and he fucking lobs it, and then sits there and looks and waits for a reaction from mummy. And that's what these cunts are doing with the other Van Gogh and then standing there in front, like with Just Stop Oil on it. It's just really ridiculous, childish, attention-seeking nonsense that the government are already fucking doing anyway. They should be against it. They should be battling against it, but no. Let's all fucking into this shit. Let's put all shit in his air so everyone knows we're a toxic, vicious, violent cunt. It's just fucking white. The government's got to be a genius. Whoever's behind all this is an absolute fucking genius. He can set all us against each other by what? Easy, just like that. Boom. Here we go. We've got now we've got men against women. That's not good enough. They might. There's only two. They might fucking start agreeing and then come together and unite. We need to fracture them up into different bits, right? So let's have this third gender, which is fucking out. Anything, do what the fuck you want. Gender. It said, do what you fuck you want. Gender. So you got men and women now. The men and women that still, think that there's fucking men that that we live in this patriarchal society, and there's still people that do that, but they are fucking minute compared to the massive mouths on these fucking trans bastards that want not only right. They don't just want you to accept a woman with a dick. Right, they want you to accept a woman with a fucking dick that's shoving it in your fucking face. They can't even be discreet about it. If they want some sex, if that's what they want some sex, just go out and get some sex. You'll get some sex somewhere. There's some degenerates somewhere. Don't try and force people. Don't try and say to people, if you don't have fucking sex with me, you are a transphobe. Yeah, I'm a fucking transphobe. I hate you fucking idiots. You're all fucking idiots. But you know what I like? I like the old transvestites. I like the old Lily Savages. Paul O'Grady died the other day. Right, that's one.
It was a bit of fun. It was a little bit
exactly
of fun.
That encompasses it all. Paul O'Grady knew it were a bit of fun. He knew it was a character that he were playing. He was being a drag queen. Boom. It was just what it was. It was. And then he decided, right, I've retired that character. And Paul O'Grady now had another career, separate from Lily Savage, completely had another career, a good career as well. He had a good career. And he died a well-liked man. All this other shit is just bullshit. And I think, it just seems that on the day after this fucking trans thing in America has gone and killed these fucking children because I feel a bit down today. What shall I be? What shall I be? While they're playing with a knob, what shall I be today? Shall I be a man or a woman? No. And then what do? Fucking Paul O'Grady's fucking gone. A completely harmless and fucking very entertaining individual. I could watch Lily Savage all fucking day long. Not all day long. I
couldn't place Lily Savage. I decided to go and do a Google search for Lily Savage, and the amount of I didn't find any images of Lily Savage. All I got was fucking hit with a pile of fucking porn. It was like, what? It's like I never see porn in fucking YouTube, in Google searches, right? Until I searched for Lily Savage, and was like, what the fuck is going on here? It's like fucking nuts, man. And no pictures of Lily Savage, just fucking porn chicks with their legs spread open and cocks in places where you normally stick cocks and stuff like that. Like, it was nuts, Jay. And no pictures of Lily. It was like, fuck.
It's fucking crackers. It is crackers. But you see, that's all they do is they just divide us up. They divide us up. So now we've got 3 fucking different genders. So we've got the gender wars. That just don't mean men against women. Now the war of the fucking sexes is now... it's not sexes, is it? Because sex and gender are 2 completely different things, according to them. But it's the war of the genders, men, women, and now this third thing that could be anything. We don't even know what it is. That's the thing. If you've got fucking, and if you've got a nemesis, it's nice to know what they are and what they fucking look like and what. But these cunts look like fucking could look like anything.
I'm kind of sorry. I closed a particular tab earlier on because I just I had something. I didn't think it would actually come up tonight because we covered this kind of like extensively over the last few days. But there was a recent statement put out by the Communist Party of England, right? I can't even remember the site. I might find it at some stage and maybe go over it again too. But they're coming out strongly against this, these transgender ideologies coming into law in Scotland in particular, especially in Scotland. That seems to be the epicenter of where a lot of this transgenderism has been refrained from. Because if you remember quite recently, like the British government came down and they wouldn't allow a certain law to be passed because it was whatever. Do you remember this this drama that was going on there just in the last month or so? And the British Parliament prevented a particular law coming into enactment in Scotland regarding gender ideology. And do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. I think that might have. Oh, wait. Well, I remember something of it. Yeah, but I mean the gender idea, the idea of like 3 genders, in Scotland should be dead in water now. They've got a Muslim in charge, right? So
Oh,
I mean,
God, yeah.
so that should be dead in fact, by end of year, it's probably going to be illegal to be gay in Scotland. You would imagine if if everything went out, these people say that they vote with a conscience and they do things with a conscience and whatever. If they do it with a conscience, then a Muslim clearly has got to make it illegal to be gay in Scotland, aren't they? If she was doing it with a conscience.
I was looking at this. I was looking at this chap the other day. This fella here, bearded powerlifter, enters Canadian women's competition to make a point.
I saw it. I was watching it. In fact, I think I got it off your newsfeed.
No, I don't think so. I didn't actually post this. So I haven't posted much over the last few days. So, but yeah, what's his name? Avi Silverberg. So he entered the women's bench press and shattered the record. Like, what was it? The previous record was 275 pounds, and
he broke it by 100 pounds, didn't he?
Yeah. So
but he did that. He did that because in that when that were happening, there was another transgender, and he weren't transgender. Don't worry. I mean, it was trying to make the point that all you had to do was say that you identified as a female, you were able to enter into the female competition. And he did making a point of doing a competition where the world record holder for women, who was a transgender bloke, a transgender fucking. Right, if I said transgender bloke, I mean a bloke that's chopped his knob off. Or
you'll get us banned again, Jay, if you're not careful.
He chopped his knob off, right? So when I say transgender bloke, I mean originally a man. But he was originally a man. The record holder was originally a bloke, and he was there as a volunteer at this competition, which is why the gentleman in question chose this competition and showed the ridiculousness of this. And now he's not the world record holder. I don't know what record it is, but it's certainly a record in lifting, and he only did it just to make a point.
Yeah, it's a good point. Great point. And we need more of these people to stand up, because obviously too many people are taking this shit too seriously. Otherwise, but then again, we don't know. To be honest, I don't know anybody locally here who takes any of this fucking bullshit fucking seriously, or even talks about it. It's a non-fucking issue with most normal fucking people. It doesn't even enter into their goddamn fucking radar, because do you know what? If it did enter onto the radar, they'd be talking about it all the fucking time. Nobody, even my goddamn mother, doesn't take any of it fucking seriously, and she's about as liberal as you'll get,
all these drag acts are all part of this new age androgyny. Yeah, this is what I saw today on a different Telegram channel, but it's some letter that had been sent to parents, and they weren't having certain dresses and stuff. What they were doing is they were making the dress code, and this for me was the biggest load of bullshit that everybody who's watching this, everybody who got this letter should say, actually, that's shit. What they said is they wanted to make the uniforms sort of the same for boys and girls, so that people would have, it's because the pupils had asked them to do something for gender identity or something. Right? I can't think of a pupil that's going to, I don't think a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old or a fucking 100-year-old really is going to say, can you do something, for gender identity in this school? And so they were claiming that the school were doing it because it was something that the pupils wanted, which is just bullshit. Because I mean, the pupils, you ask a kid, a 9-year-old kid, anything, and it's going to just be, you know, video games or whatever shit they're into at that point. You know, that they're going to talk about. They're not going to talk about gender identity, are they? Unless it's been put into them.
Unless it's been put into them, Jay, and this is what's been going on because it's been programmed into them. That's probably why it's coming out more and more and more, because it's been sort of like, but if these topics weren't discussed at all in school, it would never enter a child's thought processes at all. But because it's there, it's in the schools, it's in their faces, and they shouldn't be burdened with this type of crap. They really shouldn't. Like, you know, it's much too early. I was quite happy with the way my sexual sort of like awakening happened, like, and I was very, very late comer to the scene, and I was still very, very happy. There was no rush on it, like, and there should still be no rush on it. Children should be allowed to just develop naturally in the way that they normally would, like, and parents are the way to do it, not through sort of like ideologically driven fucking half-wits who are sort of like somehow find themselves in charge of a classroom because of whatever reason that they've, you know, a lot of the teachers shouldn't really be teaching, like, you know, it's the same as a lot of doctors shouldn't be treating. They're not really good at what they fucking do. That they shouldn't be there, you know. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. I won't be moved.
Well, it's got to be on it. I mean, like you say, it's been placed in their heads. That's the only reason. Nobody's thinking about gender. In fact, even when you're an adult, apart from perhaps when you're a teenager and in your sort of like late teens, early 20s, but like your sexuality should be not something that's any real part of, you know, like a main part of your life. Your main part of your life is mostly, you know, going about your day and getting your stuff. Is you don't think about sexuality. You don't think about sex and sexuality and stuff like that. But it's become front and center. It's everything about you is about your sexuality or your fucking how many legs you've got or fucking what colour your skin is. Or
I do have to admit, as a lad, you know, there's certain times in the day you think, oh, I'd love to ride that one.
Of course there are, but it's not from your personality. We used to have people like that, you know, and they were called fucking pests and womanizers and, you know, weird. You know, we've all had it when we were growing up. The kid who were fucking like talked about sex all the time. Jay in between us. You know, he's talking about sex all the time, like he's. That's the only time that you do it. All the rest of the time, it's just a background thing. You know what I mean? It's just it don't make any difference what I do. Yeah, the ruin rainbows. God, it's right. Yeah, someone said here we go from Tony in chat room. Evening, Tony, mate. How you doing? Is the step back from trannies in women's sports a watershed moment for the woke movement? Has it run its course and failed? It's run its course and failed anyway. But it's like how else that's failed. It's like, you know, we've got a currency that's failed, really, haven't we? But it's been propped up, and this is what it is. The thing is we can't live without currency. All of us, we can live without all this fucking shit because it is sexual. It's not anything about what you feel inside. It's a sexual thing. It involves sex, and if it involves sex, it shouldn't involve children. In fact, it shouldn't involve me. Why do I know that a fucking some bloke on the other side of the planet likes to dress up as a fucking baby? Why? Why do I need to know that? I don't need to know that. Why is it being told to me? I don't need to know that. Is it so that it'll get this sort of reaction from me and go, what the fuck is going on? Because it's everywhere. I wonder if this is really happening. I don't know if we're just like, because where do you get your fucking news from? It's none of it's what you've seen or what you've heard your friend tell you they saw, is it? None of it is. It's always some cunt else telling you. Hey, big fucking movie. It's a big movie, but we like to talk about it, the ins and outs. This movie, it's the script, it's the plot. The plot, does it thicken? It has to thicken. If it don't thicken, it gets bored. People get bored with it. It loses its relevancy, and then it goes away. But then the next thing comes along. The next thing. See, it's fucking trans shit now. Before that, we've had war in Ukraine. We've had disease. There's always been a big main story. There's always a bogeyman. We've had Russia, we've had Iraq, we've had Osama bin Laden, we've had fucking Saddam Hussein, all these fucking bogeymen. And if you were in alternative, the bogeymen again were George W. Bush, who was about as much of a fucking bogeyman as he wouldn't even be able to pick his own fucking nose to get a bogey. In mind fucking duo, it's just a fucking useless.
I have to say though, he was pretty good in his feet. Do you remember that scene from the interview that he was given in Iraq all those years ago when he had to dodge the shoe being thrown at him?
Oh
Did you see how quick he
right.
could move, man? He could fairly move, lad.
He's probably had to fucking duck out of the way a lot though, hasn't he, in his life? You think about it, it's George W. Bush. He's going to be an expert. Can't throw a fucking punch, but can he duck out of one? Can't fucking get him, make him world boxing champion. Well, the coach fucking knackered out, falls over, pushes him over. Well, yeah, Putin has been appointed bogeyman. So we've got Putin. Now we've got, right, who we're supposed to be scared of? We're supposed to be scared of Putin. We're supposed to be scared of trannies. We're supposed to be scared of
President Xi. President Xi.
The what?
President Xi.
President Xi Jinping. Is it Xi Jinping? We're supposed to be scared of fucking any cunt, really. Anybody, anything. We're supposed to be scared that the economy is going to crash. Banks are going to fucking collapse.
We're going to be scared we kill Granny. And,
we're going to kill Granny. We're going to be scared that we can't fucking pay interest rate mortgages because interest rates have gone up.
We have to be afraid now to hold currency because obviously it's all going to crash and burn. So what? Shit! Oh, let's go for gold. Gold is going down. Shit! Move your money into silver. It's like, fuck's sake. Oh, you can't win, man. You can't win. I just have to say it, but I have to say, like, because we did cover. If you didn't check out the show from last week, I did get a good update on the story from Credit Suisse and about possible corruption in that bank and money laundering and embezzlement and all sorts of crazy stuff going on. So it's no wonder an awful lot of these banks are failing, and it's the possibility that it's nothing got to do with interest rates. It's more fucking fear porn. And keep you fucking looking elsewhere than what the problem really is, which is corruption.
Yay! Corruption! Yeah, see, that's not a bogeyman. See, that's just seen as boys will be boys. It's all like know what it's like. Pat back. It's the old boys club. You see, we're making excuses for the cunts.
I know.
Right there and then we're making excuses for them. But some fucking bloke comes over in a dingy. And everyone wants to lynch him, right? and look, I don't know what to do about that. I don't know what the right thing is to do. I don't. But fucking what?
Well, it seems like they have the answer to that particular problem in England at the moment, and here in Ireland, where they're now moving them to army barracks. Did you catch up on that story coming out from England?
I did see that. They're doing it in RAF Scampton, apparently, in Lincolnshire.
Yeah, and we've got something similar going on in this country too. Like there's a barracks in Kill. I think it's in. I can't remember where exactly it is in Ireland. But apparently they're housing a lot of these male migrants in these army barracks, and there's one down the road from here too in Mullingar, which is supposed to be a refugee center, a direct provision center, but it's all males, of course. But it's an army barracks. It's very, very fascinating. I have my own take on what they're doing there, So, and obviously,
we don't know what they're doing, do we? That's the thing is we don't know. We have.
I think we can sort of deduct a few sort of if they're going to be housing them in army barracks and stuff like that. They're there. They're training. They're obviously making preparations for a coming war. you know, a lot of people are worried that these people are going to be turned against them. Like, but no, I think it's a bigger game at play here. So I'm not overly concerned about it myself personally. I don't know about you, Jay.
No, I mean, I'm not overly concerned about it, but I don't. Then again, I don't live in one of these areas. I'm not subject to it, so I will. I'm not going to have an opinion on something and say something's right or wrong or what they're fucking doing because I just don't know. But you can understand that where people's concerns come from, can't you? And that's really, really understandable. But yet, those concerns seem to be brushed away under the carpet of diversity and inclusion and these other nonsense fucking words. I mean, they just don't even mean anything. Diversity, I mean, what does it mean? It don't mean anything. It's fucking division, isn't it? It's a word based upon division. So, you know, you can see why they've chosen that as their like buzzword. So it's just a sit back, light up a big fucking fat cigar, survive best you can, light up a big fat fucking cigar and watch it if you're able, or a joint would be even better if you're able, and just fucking there's very little that you can do apart from be the best person that you can be. That's all you can do. Be the best person you can be for yourself and for your family and for anybody that's around you. You know, don't have to be, you know, even just ignoring some fuckers probably does them a favour. You know, when you walk past somebody and you don't talk to them, you can see when people don't want to, you know, don't want to say hello or all that. You just walk past them. That's doing them a favour. That's just little things that we can, you know, we can all do. But we all seem to get caught up in this fucking badger baiting society that we've got, where we're baiting people right, left, and fucking centre. So if you don't hate somebody, then you're not doing it right, are you? This life thing. You've got to hate somebody, for fuck's sake. That's what life's about. If you love somebody, there's got to be a certain... You know, they'll tell you, if there's love, then there's got to be hate as well. Fucking bullshit. Fuck yeah. I just... I don't want... yeah, all right. Love and hate. Oh, you could, if you wanted to. Let me break this up just a little bit. I just wanted to show you this. Your morning could be as bad as this kid from Wakefield in 1978. Are you ready for this? I'm going to just show this on screen. And just watch this. I was watching this the other day, and I thought to myself, this kid has just wanted to use phone. This is what it was like in 1978. You just wanted to use phone, and you can tell he just wanted to use phone when you have a listen to what his reply is when Noel asks him the question back. You'll just have a quick look at this. There we go.
Interesting letter. Can you call it a letter? It's sort of a yellow thing that's come in from Brian. Brian Mornan, and he's age 7, and he says, "Dear Noel, what do you have for breakfast on Saturday?"
Oh, I've gone past it. Hang on.
Marvellous show planned for you. We had a pretty good show last week, but this week it's just going to be...
It's going to pick up the phone in a minute.
I've had a rather interesting letter. Can you call it a letter? It's sort of a yellow thing that's come in from Brian Mornan, and he's age 7, and he says, "Dear Noel, what do you have for breakfast on Saturday?" Well, actually, Brian, if you really want to...
I don't know, really.
You haven't got a favourite football?
No, that's not that. Fucking... I'll find it. I'll find it later. I'll find it another time. Oh, that were fucking wank. I had that all lined up. I'm sure I had it all lined up. Here we go.
Yeah.
Good morning, Andrew. Whereabouts are you ringing from?
I sit near Wakefield.
Up there in Yorkshire. Well, a very good morning. What can I do for you?
When you were small at school, what did you want to do when you grew up?
Be an engine driver. That's what I wanted to do. Do you believe me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. What do you want to do?
I'm not bothered.
You're not bothered?
No.
People do that for a profession, actually. You must have some ideas. Have you got...
I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered.
Oh. The kid, though, I mean, he's rung up and he's phoned up. He must have had some his idea in his head, but he's just wanting to use phone because it was 1978, that swap shop. What do you want to do? I'm not bothered. That's what question time should be like, isn't it? What would you do? Well, I don't know. I'll just leave it.
Yeah. Somebody asked him, Rishi Sunak, what's he going to do about the immigration crisis? I'm not bothered.
I was watching that other day. I saw it on YouTube. I was thinking it was morning. I got up really early, and I just put YouTube on, and I was flicking through, and it said Swap Shop 19. I didn't know it was 1970. It just said March. That's all I could see. So I put it on, and I watched it for quite a while, as you can see on thing. I mean, I had watched it.
2.25 hours.
I didn't watch it all. I watched about first half an hour or something like that. But you know, it had cheggers on it and all that sort of shit. But I was just thinking to myself, I mean, that kid, it just fucking made me. I just so fucking laughed that morning. I was just laughing when he just went, "Well, I'm not bothered." What do you want to do? I'm not bothered.
You know, that's a typical kid response, you'd expect that, like, you're talking to a 9-year-old kid. Are you not worried about the trans fucking problems in the country? Says, I'm not bothered. The typical child response, that's what you expect, because they're not supposed to give a shit about, like, the bullshit that gets fucking adults fucking knickers in a twist, they're really not. It's not their fucking problem to worry about shit like this, that's later down the road, maybe.
Later down, fucking much later down the road. Yeah. So where we're going here now then?
Yeah.
What you've got lined up?
I've gotten a very, very important, if anybody is looking for a job, right? I've got a brilliant work from home job for everybody. Let me see, add this to stream. They're looking for donors at the moment, right? And so if you want to become a stool donor, right, you just got to complete a questionnaire and complete verification of stool type and physical fitness. This would be a brilliant job for somebody, say, like Spanish Chicken, for example. There's a video interview. You got stool and blood testing paid for by us or by the recipient. You get paid $500 per stool, right? And if you're having a bowel movement,
anyturd.com.
Yeah, I mean, if you get paid $500 per stool, you're having a bowel movement every day. It can total $180,000 per year. Most recipients will probably be ordering stool via dry ice shipping, the cost of which will be covered by them. Donors are prepaid for everything we receive. The order and payment from the recipient, and pass it on to the... This is not a skit, by the way. This is fucking real, right? But anyway, I just thought I could just throw that out there. If anybody is looking for sort of a little bit of a job on the sidelines, you could always become a stool donor. Imagine, Spanish would probably make a fortune. He'd have the most diverse stool fucking biota of in the whole world,
I don't know. I think fucking Dinny could just go and stand there and talk. That could fill the fucking stool fucking criteria up for him.
Obviously, there is money in shit,
So anybody want that job? Anybody want that job? I mean, having a shit for a living fucking sounds ideal, doesn't it? I mean, what are you got to do though? Have you got to?
I'll tell you.
What's the minimum requirement? Do you need a degree?
I think all you need to know is how to fucking shit into a plastic bag, really. I think that's the only qualification you need.
Do you have to shit into the plastic bag, or can you fish it out of your toilet?
I'm going to throw it in there into the chat just in case anybody wants to apply. That's funny. Oh man.
Oh, fucking hell.
Who
Jesus
says we don't
Christ.
bring good news on this fucking site, man?
We are the good news, aren't we? The good news is we're back on YouTube for a fucking day or two.
Yeah, we'll probably
If
get
we're not
banned
back on
for
YouTube, we're back on fucking what's it? Rumble, is it? Rumble, yeah. Let's get it right.
Rumble. Yeah,
If we
yeah,
want to
yeah,
ingratiate ourselves with him on Stephen Crowder and all that. We're mates with Stephen Crowder, us. We've
Well,
got a Rumble.
we're in good company anyway, and I'll tell you what, they are killing it over there. I do tune into Crowder fairly regular, like when I can. Like, he's getting like up to 250,000 views live on fucking Rumble, man. He's killing it, absolutely killing it.
He thinks that's fucking good. We've got fucking 12 people watching, and we peaked at 17 on Rumble. So
Wow.
fucking.
That's not too fucking shabby, man. I'm impressed with that little platform. I really am, and I think there's scope there. There's probably a few improvements that can be made, but I think they're working on it behind the scenes. And I think they're quite likely going to be a real contender for some of the market share from YouTube. Very, very short. That they have improved their interface over the last couple of months. Made great. It's actually looking really, really well. Granted, it doesn't have all the features YouTube has. YouTube has got a shit pile of features.
But them having Crowder on there, that's a good omen. That's a good omen. That's a good sign, isn't it? Because Crowder's not gone on there. If it's just going to be a fly-by-night fucking 3, if he's got a 5-year deal with him or whatever, he's not going to have signed that. We are some assurances that the platform's not going to disappear in a few months' time or change or anything. So it's a good sign.
Yeah, well, look,
and I think what we'll do is when we've got a little bit more risque, when we want to talk a little bit more risque, like the filter's been on to me on it, but when we want to be a bit more risque, it's we'll just do it over there, or perhaps we might have a controversial guest on. Yeah, but Rumble, pretty good. I'm liking it. I'm liking the vibes that we're getting.
Yeah, and max respect to anybody who's watching us over there on Rumble. Much appreciated. Like it's been very kind, and our last 355 views over there for the last show. I'm impressed. I really am. So I'd like to max respect to anybody who will be listening to Rumble in the future, listening to this channel Rumble in the future. Thank you very much.
Yes, Tricia, she's put a message in the chat room on Rumble, actually, saying, Jason, check your messenger. I think she's talking about Facebook Messenger. Now, the thing is I don't do Facebook anymore, so I know it's still there because I needed to go back and retrieve that video from the one that got deleted. But that's the only reason it's there. I'm going to get rid of it. So I will log in and have a look at your message, and but then it's going to be deleted. So just forget Facebook because it's a fucking waste of time.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like the way Twitter was before Musk took it over. I'm not a fan of Musk or anything like that, but there's definitely changes happening there, for good or bad. We'll see how it bodes for the future, like with Twitter. But then again, though, recently I think Donald Trump was reinstated on Twitter, on Facebook, wasn't he? He's also reinstated on YouTube now. So, and it's kind of interesting because he's been indicted next Tuesday for this Stormy Daniels business and the payout that was given, like in relation to campaign funds. It's not about Stormy Daniels at all, but about the payments mid-election.
Of course, it's not about Stormy fucking Daniel. Jesus Christ, how long have they had to prosecute him on that if they wanted to? Surely there must be a limitation. It's clearly a political move. I mean, they don't even try and hide it anymore. It's clearly a political move. No matter what you say, anybody, he's just announced his presidential candidacy for 2024, his intention to run for 2024. And then they decide to arrest him. I mean, you've got to be some sort of fucking real dimwit to not see that is what is going on. And I know there's fucking plenty of dimwits about, right? But they've got to be some that have just got a little bit less dim over the last couple of years that can see that this is clearly a political move. That's all it is. just a fucking joke. It's just an absolute utter joke. And also the other thing as well is that Trump was reinstated on Twitter. It's just that he hasn't taken that up. So, but I think he will with another social media, and I think that social media is actually fucking dead in and of itself. And I think a return to forums would be a good idea. I know that that's probably not going to weed out as many, the amount of bots that there are knocking about everywhere, which is perhaps about fucking 75-80% of people that are on social media are mostly bots. So you're not going to weed them out, but you are going to be able to, hopefully, a more decentralized of authority. The person whose forum it is obviously has got the authority over what happens on the forum. And so the more and more we decentralize it, then there's going to be, if someone gets kicked off of one thing, there's going to be different places for them to go and perhaps to vent the views about stuff. So I think the way forward is backwards. It's back to forums. It's back to communicating that way, and back to where why don't we just grow up a little bit? And if you disagree with somebody and it really pisses you off that you see what they're doing, just block them. It's the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah,
it's the easiest thing in the world, and it's probably the hardest to get people to do. You get people to fucking dip into the wallets and buy things from but can you get them to to grow up?
I see Musk made the source code for Twitter open source in the last day or two. Did you notice that?
Sorry, say that again.
Elon Musk has just put the whole source code for Twitter. He's made it open source. So
yeah, it's the algorithms for what is it? Fucking for you recommendations. The algorithms, isn't it? Yeah.
I think, from what I understand, he's made the whole source code available now. It's all open source
from midday Pacific time, whatever time that is.
Yeah, that's a very, very interesting move. That's a good step towards transparency because, as you probably know, I'm a huge proponent of open source because, once a source code is made open source, like everybody can view it. So there's a hell of a lot of smart people in the open source community who know what they're looking for when they start reading through code. So I can't wait to see what they come up with, like in the coming weeks and months and the years ahead, about what's hidden in that source code. It should be fascinating just to follow that particular story. I'm going to be keeping an eye out for developments in it anyway over the coming months and years.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's Elon Musk going against what big tech is doing, which is big tech is more and more not releasing codes and things that they used to release in order for third parties to repair their items. You'd be able to get the code to be able to reprogram it when you put a new part in or whatever. You'd be able to get that code. And they've not been doing that. They've not been releasing that anymore. So it's been becoming more and more difficult for third-party repairers. And I think that's what Elon Musk is sort of doing is going against that sort of way that big tech is going, which is more and more you're trapped in rather than trapped into a subscription model. I mean, it's coming to a point where it is mostly subscription models. There's plenty of examples of that, like printers where if you cancel the subscription for the ink, your printer just won't work. Simple as that. It just doesn't work. They just shut it down remotely. Even if you've still got ink left in it, it just doesn't work. It will not work. They've shut it down. So essentially, it doesn't belong to you. It's not your piece. But you've paid probably 200 quid for a printer, and they've just rendered it useless. So the question should be is why are we paying for these? If you're going to make a subscription model, then all perfectly well. If someone wants to have a subscription model, then they can get the item for free, like you do with a mobile phone. If you're on a contract, you'll get the without no upfront payment and what have you, and then you're on a subscription basis, aren't you? And so that's what they should be doing with these other things, but it just don't seem to be going down to tech. And if you've got a piece of hardware that's cost you 200 quid, and it's been turned off because you've cancelled your subscription for ink because you don't need it, you're not using it as much as so you don't need it, and then your printer's rendered useless. Elon Musk must be doing something against that, I think. Well, maybe. Or it might just be a cunt. Or he might just say, fuck it.
Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with him, because I know what he is. I know he's a criminal. He should have been up in front of a judge and a jury for securities fraud years and years ago. Out and out criminal. He stole all the bits and pieces that make Tesla work. He weaseled that company off the people who actually originally came up with the technology for the Tesla cars. Not saying that I agree with them or anything like that, but it was somebody else's work. So, Musk is a highly questionable character. But at
Musk
the end of the day,
Tesla now, hasn't he? I mean, that seems to be Musk's MO.
He's been getting out of it. Yeah,
he's out of Tesla. I mean, Tesla's gonna fucking tank. It's going to tank somewhat chronic because this infrastructure is not going to be there. It just isn't going to be there, and it's going to tank. I mean, if you go to, if you want to buy a 12-year-old EV, right? You want to buy a second-hand EV. I saw somebody bought a 12-year-old EV, and it was one of that. It was a little farty car, and its initial range were only about 145 miles. But now it's 12 years old and its range is 55 miles, right? It cost more. It cost about 10,000 quid more than the petrol or diesel version of the same car, same model. And yet that's now lost 90% of its value. And also its range were down to about 55 miles. I mean, what use is 55 miles to anybody? And its value had tanked by 90%. Now, if you got the same model in petrol or diesel, it'd probably be about 25%. It's probably about 75% that it lost in that 12 years of its value. But then again, the second-hand market has gone nuts. I mean, we saw a car on my missus. I took my missus to have a car service today. So I followed her and then she dropped it off and then she come back. And there was a car, her model, her car, same as her car, Mocha, 66 plate, right? And it was 10 grand. And it had got 10,000 more miles on than her car. And I said, fucking 10 grand, that's 10 grand. I said, how much did you pay for yours? And she's had her car for must be 3 years, and she said I paid 7 grand for it. And now it's the same model is 10 grand. So they're appreciating. Second-hand cars are appreciating in price.
Wow.
Again, that's due to all that pandemic shit where they said they couldn't get the resources and metals and all that. That's nonsense. It's nonsense.
No. Actually, there may well be something to that because I was listening to a fantastic interview the other day. I have it lined up on my Telegram. It was from an associate professor by the name of Simon Michaux, which is Michaux. Now, he was asked by the European Union to do a little bit of research into what it would take, what was going to be needed to bring this new Green New Deal, all this, move everybody to EVs and to implement all these wind technologies and all these solar panels, and he worked it out to the penny, and not just to the penny, to the amount of resources that was going to be needed to be able to pull from the ground so that you could actually enact these processes to be in line with the climate projections and implementation by 2030. And basically, he's saying this is impossible. The amount of rare earth minerals, the amount of metals, the amount of it was just ridiculous the way he broke it down. I'll throw this link into the chat for anybody who wants to have a listen to like what's going to be involved in getting us to meet these to get to these carbon sort of like project to get to where we want to be, like net zero. Thanks, Jay. To get to there, and we're talking about trillions upon trillions of rare earth minerals, trillions of tons, and we just don't have that capacity to get this. Like the one that has the biggest lacking metal of the whole lot is copper. And we need trillions of tons of copper. We need trillions of tons of molybdenum and all these kind of like crazy rare earth minerals. He says, I don't know what they're going to do, but we can't fucking do this. We don't have the ability to extract this much mineral in such a short space of time. We need another solution. Nuclear is not going to cut it. He breaks it down like on a spreadsheet that you would do like for say like you were going to do an audit of a bank or something like that. And the way he broke it down, like all into its component parts, the metals that you need, the price that it would cost. It was just an amazing. Check out that interview that I posted there in the chat, like from that chap called, let me see if I can get his name, Simon McCow, Associate Professor Simon McCow. It was just astounding. Like it just blew my head, and I was just thinking, and the same as what he was thinking, like these people do not live on planet Earth. This cannot be done like with the current rate of extraction of all these minerals and metals and he didn't even go into what was going to be needed like for other types of there was other types of infrastructure that he was going into as well too, which he didn't account for, like, you know, and his figures were being conservative. Like we're talking about trillions of tons of stuff like which just can't be done.
Just can't now, impossible. There probably isn't the amount of stuff that they need in the earth. You know.
Well, no, he didn't say that. He didn't say that.
But there probably isn't. I never said he said it. I'm just saying they're probably in.
Yeah.
What they're trying to say. I mean, we're talking about black arts now, aren't we? You know, and we've got virtually zero electric cars in the grand scheme of things. Probably about 10% or 5% or whatever.
Less, 1%. 1%.
Okay, 1% electric cars, and they're talking about black arts now, right? So something's got to change radically, otherwise it's going to be. You see, this is the thing: is you'll either change or whatever you're using will just be the price will just increase exponentially. So you're just going to have to pay. It's just going to be you're going to have to either have to fucking abide by this, or you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to pay, and they you know, they can keep that going forever and a fucking day. Look at how long they've kept this climate bollocks going. I think it was 1988, didn't they? They said that in year 2000 that you know if we didn't do out, then water levels would rise and there'd be fucking people. You know, woke up one morning and they're underwater and they, oh my god, I'm a fish. You know, that sort of fucking shit. That's just
yeah. Well, this chap McCow that I was just telling you about there, he spelled out like clearly at the beginning of that like the dissertation at the interview that he done on the breakdown of what was going to be needed to implement this net zero policy. And he opened it like with the reality that like we are beyond getting to the stage where we're past peak oil. And what I got from he didn't say this specifically, but the impression I'm getting is that like, okay, that's why we're going to have to be moving away from diesel and petrol cars, is because there's going to be the reason they're going to be going off the roads is because we won't have the fuels to support them. That resource is probably dying out right now. And, you know, I was always open to the idea, like for many years, that like this idea of abiotic oil might be actually a reality, but who knows? That could be just another goddamn psyop. Perhaps we are at the stage where we're at peak oil and that like there may be no other choice but to phase out petrol and diesel over time, and that the resources are just not going to be there. Perhaps that's the real reason. That's the the lie of the climate crisis is probably got to do with like the dwindling resource of oil that we've been so dependent upon. You know, that was one takeout I got from that particular interview. So it seemed it makes a lot of sense, you know, because like there is no climate crisis. You know, the only other reason is that like that resource is going to be dead. It's going to be gone, finished with, and we won't.
You see, my version of politics would be this, right? We've got coal, and we're fucking, everyone's warming their houses up. People are making different, like, new technologies all the time, and if they're better, they come into place, like central heating and double glazing, those sort of things. These all fucking just make sense, and they all fucking come in. Now, I'm in favour of the government that sort of says, right, we're sorted with that. And someone then goes, oh, well, what about in future? Oh, fuck them. They can fucking sort that out when they get there. You know, it's like, tell me when it's run out and then I'll do something. We'll organise something. And in the meantime, you carry on doing your shit. But now they ain't got that. It's got to be, oh, it's an emergency. Oh, by the way, it's all your fault. Your fucking fault down there, by the way. You farted earlier on. Do you know how fucking bad that is for the environment? I'm going to come up there on my private jet and fucking tell you. But that's the way it is, isn't it? It's fucking ridiculous. Everything's upside down. Completely upside down.
I don't know. Sometimes I think everything's just the way it's supposed to be. And, you know, you've got fucking rational people versus irrational people. And you've got conspiracy theories versus the mainstream narrative. Like, and I know which side I'm fucking on.
Well, it's fucking stupid, isn't it? I mean, the way things are going, in a couple of years' time, it'll be fucking. After he's dead, there'll be a film made a film made about Morgan Freeman's life, and it'll be played by a fucking albino. Because fucking, you know, albinos have fucking suddenly got rights. You know, more rights than you. You know, can't we just all have fucking same rights? Do we all need like extra rights? What fucking rights haven't they got anyway? What rights have fucking all these people that are screaming for the rights not got? They ain't got fucking. They've got every right that everybody else has got.
Nobody has any rights. You're granted certain privileges, and that's it. Like, you know, and those privileges can be rescinded. Anybody who wants to look at the dissertation of the a dissection of what the Irish Constitution actually means and what government think about the Irish Constitution, you have certain rights and privileges which can be granted, but any of those rights and privileges can be taken away in the name of the public good or for the. And this is their words, not mine. This is how they fucking word this shit. So in general, you don't have rights, and it's very, very. Don't delude yourself into thinking that you actually have rights, because you have none. You know, you not under the current social contract mechanism. You know, where the you know, you got the public good or the well-being of the majority. You know, so in that sense, you're never going to have rights. You know, and we've seen that like in play, like during the scamdemic and all like that, you know, where, you know, you have to do your duty for the good of the community, and everybody is required to take a certain treatments, and that will keep everybody safe, and that's your duty now. So, but you have rights except for that one in that particular case. Like, but those rights spread and far wide through many different things, like land rights, for example. Farmers like are losing their land at the moment, basically, and you know, but like in general, like we need those farmers to provide our food and stuff like that. Like, but you know, we're in a very, very topsy-turvy world. Like, you know, nobody has any.
Is the number one cause of climate change. What's the matter with you? Fucking goats farting, man. Fuck me. Just because you want a fucking, you know, you want a lamb chop. You know, you want goats to fucking fart everywhere and kill everyone else. You fucking selfish bastard. What's he doing that? I mean, what's fucking goat done wrong anyway? Should he not ever exist at all? Should that fucking goat never exist? You know, it might have a short life, but I had a fucking dream overnight, right? That you know, like, you never died. Nobody ever dies. All you do is, right, if you die in one reality, you just go into the next one and it's seamless to you. You go into a different one and it's completely fucking seamless and you never die. And so you might die in one, but you don't know because you've just moved into a different one where you've not died. And then, with the infinite reality fucking scope, there's a chance to live forever, isn't there, really? I mean, probably all do. But I had a dream. I had a dream about that overnight. It was fucking really weird, man. I just kept skipping from fucking reality to reality, kept fucking dying all the time.
I'm a believer, man.
What can you do?
I'm a total believer in that, I really am. I'm not sure whether I subscribe to the idea of a God or anything like that, but I'll tell you one thing. I am a believer that we are flitting in and out of whatever you might call this. Some people would call it the video game. Some people would call it the simulation. Some people call it reincarnation. And I don't subscribe to any of those descriptions. But at the end of the day, I have a feeling that we're doing this over and over and over again until we get it fucking right. Till we figure a way out of the box.
That's it, isn't it? Yeah, but we can sit here and talk about it, can't we? It's all good stuff. You know what we've not got to? We've come to 11 o'clock, mate. I don't know if you want to go on a bit further or if you're.
I'll leave it up to yourself, mate. Leave it up to yourself.
We'll carry on until we think it's come to a glorious conclusion.
Sure.
We want to go out in a fucking like a bang of glory, don't we? With this being his last show tonight.
Well, come here. Just give me 5 minutes or less. Give me less. Give me a minute to go for a little Jimmy, and I'll be back in a second.
Okay, little Jimmy's going for a little Jimmy and getting his little Jimmy out and popping off for a little Jimmy there. And don't forget to check it, but he's lost. He's gone. Anyway, let's see what's going on in chat room. Evening, all you people. You're having a good time in there. I hope you are. That's what it's all about, isn't it? It's just about, having a look about you and laughing at the fucker. There's nothing you fucking do about most of this shit. Utter fucking dog shit. No, it's not last show, Weefy man. We're just joking. I said last show tonight. Last show tonight. Okay, I just want to get that straight. Last show tonight. So tonight's last show. So, but it's not the last show. We'll be, yeah, thank fuck he's gone. Cheers, Jerry, son of mate. Keeping up the old tradition. See, I would have expected Spanish chicken to come for that. Come out with that one, but yeah, nice one. Too, mascara snake as well got it. Spanish chicken. I don't believe in. Sorry, this is Tony. I don't believe in reincarnation, resurrection. Cool, man. I mean, that's cool. It's just. At least no, I never said what I believed in. It was just a dream I had, and it was just a little bit weird. But I enjoyed it. I have some weird dreams, mate. I have some fucking weird fucking dreams. You won't believe a lot of them. But yeah, I have some good dreams as well. Good ones. They're all good, aren't they? If you're having a dream, you're in another fucking reality, another dimension in your head. Somewhere. Yeah, let's see who's in. JJ, evening, mate. How you doing? Out with a bang, yeah. Out with a bang, yeah. No, it's not last show. Okay. Just letting you know that. How many people are reincarnated as dildos? Says Chris. I don't know, mate. I don't know. I really don't know. Good news. Story this week is that I lost my car key at work, but I found them the next day after I had to use scooter to get in. Raconteurs news. So how do you use a scooter to get in? Oh, into work, right? Okay. Oh, nice one. Yeah, been working hard. I hope you're not working too hard, mate. And I hope you're doing all right. Chris there. Eve, let's just sing Eve's song. I could do that, couldn't I? Or I could just put a little song on, couldn't I? In fact, let me do that. Let me just do that so that I can then go for get me sent something because I'm getting a bit, right. I expect Jimmy to be back before the end of This.
It's Raconteurs News, it's 2018. I fucking said 2018 earlier instead of 2018. Like a wanker.
This is live radio, people. What the BBC tell us isn't what the government want us to believe, then just think of that and, think about who benefits, because at the bottom of everything is somebody benefiting from something somewhere. And there's one thing for sure. It fucking ain't me, and it ain't you.
And it's happening again. 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 And it's happening again.
It's down to us then to sort it out then, isn't it?
You get a dog, or a wolf, or a spider, or a snake. How can you get a snake to be the same species as a dog? It's easy. You call the species that bites you.
Weird.
That bites you.
Yeah. Right.
That bites you.
Okay. Yeah, you've got a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got a choice. Yeah, you've got a choice. But do you want a punch in the face or a kick in the bollocks? Jeez. So what
Kick
do
in the
you
bollocks.
want to talk about?
Bollocks. Yes, Jason's bollocks. No bills of exchange.
That's how much I'm interested in fucking cricket.
Your gas is free.
Well, that's how the modicum of intelligence, would you see, Billy?
Exactly.
All they're thinking is, all they're thinking is, all they're thinking is,
Which one of us are you going to propose to this evening?
A lot of men who don't have sex.
Yeah.
So I assume that's the end. I don't think Jay put on a whole playlist that time, so I don't know. I don't know what he put on there. So, does Jimmy live in a garden shed? No, Jimmy lives in a trailer, and Jason lives in a glass house. And thought Jimmy was in a cave. I wish, but a cave can be a damp place to live. I actually lived in a cave quite some time ago down in the south of Spain. So a lovely place in summer, but I'm not sure about winter now. So I can imagine if you're in a cave that's not correctly located, it could be quite a damp, cold place to be. But anyway, let's see. I did actually want to. You're back, Jay. Anyway,
Sorry about that, mate. I just I did explain to everybody that I'm going to put that record on, and I hope you come back. I just went downstairs because I had nothing to whet the old whistle. There, me old Jimmy mate. Oh.
I know. Do you know what we didn't do yet? Which was
what we didn't do. We didn't do the obituaries.
We didn't do the obituaries, did we?
No, we didn't. Let's do the obituaries.
I know, yeah. And I have to say, it's been very extensive, over the last 2 weeks. It's been quiet now this week. I haven't heard of too many sort of unexpectedlies and suddens now this week. But over the last 2 weeks, it's been very, very extensive. Let's see if we can... Let's see what I've got here. We had the Iron Maiden dude, right? What's his name? Blaze Bailey, hospitalized after a heart attack. Confirmed he had a heart attack on the 25th of March, and his European tour dates for the week after April have been postponed. He's still in good spirits, but he's had a heart attack anyway. So we also had the Spanish third division match suspended after World Cup stars brother suffers cardiac arrest in the first half, and this was a guy called. He played Spanish third division match between Cordoba and Racing. The free roll was suspended on Saturday after Serbian defender Dragica Goodleaf. Is that how you pronounce that? Goodleaf? I don't know. Cardiac arrest, collapsed on the pitch. He suffered a cardiac arrest during the 11th minute of the first half. Ambulance immediately responded and drove onto the field. they transported him to a hospital once his condition stabilized. Doctors performed CPR on the field. They treated him for 7 minutes, including cardiac massage, and he broke down in tears as they witnessed their own get. Yeah, they all broke down in tears as they witnessed one of their own get medical attention. Why would they do that? So it doesn't say whether he's died or not. I don't think he's died. So it doesn't look like he's actually died. So we also had the pilot, another pilot here. Let's see, Benjamin Paul Viege. He died in Calgary, Alberta, March 17th. Let's see. There probably wasn't a huge amount of date on that. It was just one that came on. There's also the Utah State wide receiver, Josh Davis. He suffered a non-traumatic sudden cardiac arrest on Thursday during practice. He was a wide receiver for Utah State, had a medical emergency during practice at Maverick Stadium and was taken to Logan Regional Hospital. He was initially reported to be in critical condition, but his condition was upgraded to fair following the morning, according to ESPN. And we had this lad here, 19-year-old boxing champion, described as highly talented, Jude Moore. He represented Team England and was found dead on Friday. This was according to a report from the Mirror. Jude, the two-time national champion, who was due to fight in Milan this week, represented the Three Lions at the EU BC Junior Championship in Romania 2017. He was also represented down end Huddleston and Team England with Pride England Boxing said. So anyway, that's one. Actually, there was some questions being raised about this lad as well too, and testicular cancer. So I'm not 100% sure about the back issue on that. Like this could have been one of those aggressive new cancer outbreaks that seem to be on the rise. We also had a teenage boy suffers cardiac arrest and dies on American Airlines flight. Let's see, the mother from New York is suing American Airlines after her son went into cardiac arrest on a flight to Florida and died because the plane's automatic external defibrillator was not charged. Well, I doubt that was the cause of his death, right? At the end of the day, even though that's what's been blamed on it here. So his name was Kevin Greenridge, teenager from New York, flying to Miami from Sao Paulo, Honduras on June the 4th, when he suddenly went into cardiac arrest. So anyway, that's another one that came on the radar. Is this the same? I think this is the same one I reported on the Southwest pilot. Yeah, that's the same one that I just reported on a second ago. Just double posted. And we had the 35-year-old multi-world medalist dies unexpectedly. Angel Fournier Rodriguez, Cuba's most successful rower in history, passed away unexpectedly on Thursday, March 16th in Texas, where he had recently moved. He was 35. News of his sudden passing was announced by the World Rowing, which read, World Rowing is saddened by the way, yeah, okay. Multiple-time World Cup medalist, and did it say the reason for his after retiring from? Did it give the reason there? I forget whether I read that. Just a sudden passing. We do not know the exact cause of death, as it was still under investigation. However, we know that his family is devastated. Okay, right. So we also had the 21-year-old Irish cricket player, a bowler from Ireland, was diagnosed. Oh, this is the testicular cancer one. After experiencing dizziness in the gym, Monday morning, the County Down bowler passed away. Reported by the Belfast Telegraph, tributes are paid to the young County Down bowler. 21-year-old Dr. William Mackis, a nuclear medicine radiologist at Cross Cancer Institute, published a Substack over the weekend that raised questions about a sudden onslaught of testicular cancer cases among young, otherwise healthy athletes and other physically fit men. I have another story on this, but I won't go into this tonight now because it'd be something I need to approach very, very carefully. But we're just doing the obituaries, so
yeah, there's plenty there, isn't there?
Oh yeah, we had the CBS meteorologist collapsed on live TV broadcast. Los Angeles-based meteorologist suddenly collapsed on Sunday morning due to during a live TV broadcast. Alisa Carlson Schwartz, KCAL newscast with a weather update about the impending rain in Los Angeles. However, she passed out before she even began to report.
Have a look at that one. Have a look at that one for me. Just go back to where you were.
Which one?
Yeah, just go down a bit. Let me. There's one of these. I just want you to click on. That one. Mass
Sure.
swimming pool poisoning sees 25, including kids, hurt in deliberate attack.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Where is that now? Where is that?
It's
Down in
here.
Europe. Yeah, here. Yeah. This is a strange story, and but like this is not quite like it's been. The title says it was a deliberate attack, but that wasn't the case, right? Let's see if I click through to this story here, right? Hopefully it hasn't been changed too much since the last time I read it. Like it was, the headline is mass swimming pool poisoning sees 25 people, including kids, hurt in deliberate attack. Now, if I remember correctly, down close to the bottom, they confirmed a specialized group of firefighters has called to intervene in exceptional situations. 25 people were poisoned. Among the victims were 4 swimmers, the manager of the pool, 9 nursery school children aged between 3 and 6. Investigating officials believe, however, that the poisoning was due to pool workers miscalculating the amount of chlorine needed to sterilize the pool. But yet the headline, right? Yet the fucking headline is
deliberate
attack, right? No, yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so the story hasn't changed at all from how I fucking read it the first time. That's what fucking hit me about that goddamn story, Jay. Is that fucking crazy or what? Is that fucking crazy or what? A deliberate attack. Yeah, a miscalculation.
Probably one of the craziest things I've ever. That's not a deliberate attack, is it? I mean, it says it. It didn't even say deliberate attack. There's no the words deliberate attack don't even appear in fucking article. Only in headline.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, Jesus Christ.
That nuts or what? That's why that story just, because that's what made me click through it the first time. A deliberate attack at a pool. I was thinking, okay, what the fuck's going on here? And I actually read. You have to go down the story to actually get to the meat and bone. It's like all these stories, read the headline, read the first couple, but make sure that you read to the fucking bottom because always you'll find the meat, nuts and bolts at the bottom where they think you're never going to goddamn look or go even bother your arse to go to fucking read. And that's at the very bottom of the goddamn article. No, accidental, deliberate my arse. And they still wouldn't update their title. The title is still not updated. That story, I have that story on the back burner there for about a week and a half now, Jay. We just didn't get to cover it there the last couple of weeks, so just fucking crazy, man. Our media is a goddamn joke, absolute joke.
Yeah, complete fucking joke. Just a complete joke. The old lottery. Fucking hellfire. Oh dear.
I'll just make sure that I've gotten all these. I'll just make sure that I've gotten through all of these. Let's see, where was it? Yeah, we got the CBS collapsed live on TV broadcast. We got this. This. I didn't get a chance to. Tragic 37-year-old Italian swimmer reportedly took his own life after a long period of suffering due to. You know what? Can you see that there?
Yes. Don't say it. Don't mention the war.
Yeah, Claudio Reis, a personal trainer, swimming champion, and a man full of dreams, died aged 37. He reportedly took his own life by jumping off the Rosella Bridge, the highest and most important bridge in the city of Cesare. This story is coming out of the Gateway Pundit in Italy. Let's see. No, the Gateway Pundit's not in Italy, by the way. I'm just, I'm thinking ahead of myself here. So, yeah, he was suffering a severe adverse reaction, and after whatever, we won't even talk about. But basically, he took his own life because of the side effects, and I think the raccoon dogs. Goddamn raccoon dogs. Is there?
Oh, the bastards.
Yeah, the raccoon dogs, according to the Atlantic's most recent article, conveniently cited the strongest evidence yet that an animal started the pandemic. Many scientists have stood by the notion that this outbreak, like most others, had purely natural roots. But that hypothesis has been missing a key piece of proof: genetic evidence from the Hunan seafood wholesale market in Wuhan, China, showing that the virus had infected creatures for sale there. Now, an international team of virologists, genomicists, and evolutionary biologists have finally found crucial data to help fill that knowledge gap. A new analysis of genetic sequences collected from the market shows that raccoon dogs being illegally sold at the venue could have been carrying and possibly shedding the virus at the end of 2019. It's some of the strongest support yet. Expert told me that the pandemic began when, you know what, hopped from animals to humans rather than an accident among scientists experimenting with you know whaties. But anyway, this is also a load of bollocks because look, you and I, Jay, we hang around here fucking 2 times a week with our pile of raccoon dogs, and we haven't got anything yet from the fuckers.
No, that's right. That's right. Yeah, there's fucking tons of them. Let me just, I just want to do this one.
Sure.
Do this one. And this is something to be looking out for. And it took me quite a while to find this, even though I did put a fucking decent search in. But this one, can you see that one?
Yeah. Off-duty pilot steps in to help land plane after captain falls ill. Southwest again.
Again, yes. Southwest seem to be fucking having real problems. They had to shut down at one point, didn't they? Because they didn't have enough pilot.
What date is this, Jay?
This is 23rd of March.
Holy shit. They're having a lot of problems, man. There's been several incidents.
This is what I keep an eye on. I keep an eye on aviation. Aviation's an interest of mine. I love flying. So I've always been interested in aviation, so I'm always watching. And the amount of, not necessarily, you can't really find them on mainstream news, but if you watch the aviation channels and some of the aviation channels, you see what's like sort of only being reported locally. It's perhaps more difficult to find. We know our things can be made difficult to find because we had that fucking link that time, and you still can't find it no matter what. Even though you had the link, you had to click on link before you couldn't even.
And I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at searching for shit, Jay. When I can't fucking find it, man, there's something wrong.
But anyway, this is an off-duty pilot has stepped in to help land a plane after its captain became ill on a flight bound for Columbus, Ohio. Southwest Flight 6013 was forced to return to Las Vegas on Wednesday as urgent medical attention was required for the original pilot, who was incapacitated. Luckily, a passenger was well placed to help the crew. The off-duty pilot from another airline jumped in and helped with radio communications while the other Southwest pilot took over the controls. In radio archive recordings, the co-pilot is heard saying the captain became incapacitated while en route. He's in the back of the aircraft right now with a flight attendant, but we need to get him an ambulance immediately. Southwest Airlines thanked the off-duty pilot who stepped up to help. A spokesperson said, "We greatly appreciate their support and service. We commend the crew for their professionalism and appreciate our customers' patience and understanding regarding the situation." The pilot in this, it says here, look, this is the first one that comes up, but he died. I know he died from what I've from the videos that I've watched. But yeah, he died. So obviously that's terrible. But this has been happening more and more, and there were one that had to be returned to when one of the pilots collapsed on takeoff. I mean, go on, fuck me. That's what last place, isn't it? You want to fucking collapse.
Take off or landing. Imagine during landing. Holy shit, because they don't have enough time to respond if it happens during the landing. Holy shit.
King L says you'd think there would be a backup pilot. I mean, that is 3 pilots on board, and the goal is, and this is a big contentious issue amongst pilots and in aviation, is that they're wanting single piloted aircraft to cut costs, and to make everything. So you're talking about a skeleton crew, really. You've got a pilot that's usually you've got a co-pilot, and most pilots don't really. It's particularly commercial aircraft don't want to, don't want to fly alone. I mean, why would you? And if someone gets incapacitated, the pilot gets incapacitated. What's the thing going to do? I mean, who knows? They just keep doing it all the time.
Obviously, like in that particular case, there's somebody from the one of the passengers had to step up. I think that story is about 2 weeks old, Jay. I know it might be coming out there just as been written today, but I think that story is about 2 weeks old. That was the first wind of that. Because the reason I remembered is because somebody from the passengers had to come and take over controls.
Yeah. He said it was 2 weeks old. Yeah, it is quite old, but I know he died, man.
No, it's not old. It's not old. It's only 2 weeks old, but it's still it didn't happen. It didn't happen today, but it was just in the last 2 weeks, I believe that happened. But that's only one of a few cases. I think there's been about 5 to 6 cases in the last few weeks on Southwest Airlines that I've been picking up on. I'm still waiting for more.
Southwest Airlines, if you remember, back in the winter, in the dark winter, I think probably December, around that time, December, January, probably January time. But they actually had to close down all operations because they didn't have enough pilots and cabin crew.
That's right. Yeah.
And I think the problem is that they were refusing to have,
untreated pilots.
No, yes, exactly, and people, and there were people refusing to comply, and then they had to cancel a lot of flights, and really basically shut Southwest Airlines down for quite a period of time because, they didn't have enough passengers. Enough crew, cabin crew and pilots to be able to keep these flights going. So there you go.
Wow. Anyway, there you go. That's an extensive list of mishaps then over the last couple of weeks, like just with high-profile people,
And of course, there were Gary Newman's wife. Gary Newman, his wife, were taken to hospital because he tweeted about it, and he tweeted that her heart went mental.
Right. And Rod Stewart has been having issues, hasn't he, recently? He's had to cancel a pile of events.
Yeah, well, apparently he had to have his and this is only a rumor, right? So I don't take this as fucking gospel or anything. Yeah. YouTube don't for this, but apparently he's had to have his leopard skin trousers amputated.
Fuck you. Did he take them off first before they amputated them?
No, they amputated them there and then. They had to be amputated immediately. It was an emergency amputation. Fucking 2 hours, that's enough. Let's get on Odyssey as well. Right, we're going. We're going, aren't we, mate? We're going. Thanks to everybody. We'll be back on Tuesday. Myself and Jimmy will be back on Tuesday. No matter what, we are sailing and all that. So, right, last word to you, Jimmy, and then we're going.
I'll just, I want to say peace out to anybody on Rumble who's tuning in, and we'll get more proficient at keeping up with Rumble as the weeks go on, I'm sure. Thanks for everybody in the YouTube chat there as well too. Fair play. This show wouldn't be anything without you.
Yep. So watch Cookie on Monday, and when we're not on.
Oh, I don't know. They weren't on this week, Jay.
Well,
There was
whatever. We'll watch them.
Yeah.
Find them somewhere. Fucking hell. And God bless Steve as well. We'll leave it at that. Take it easy, everyone. See you Tuesday.